is.
if you have an issue.
HEPA vacuuming is my least favorite thing in the world. You know, I don't mind doing a wall and a ceiling, but when you're talking about an unfinished basement with the joists, yeah, that stinks. But I'll be honest.
Mine got asbestos, like that's not wrapped.
Yeah, you got to vacuum that whole thing. But I'll be honest with you, I've done tests myself when I first started using chlorine dioxide. You know, an attic can be real difficult to HEPA vacuum. So you put a 25, 50-foot hose on your vacuum, and you're trying to vacuum sheathing and joists, and there's nails from the roof going in, and you're cutting your hands up even if you have gloves, and you can't get to every area, right? So one time I said to myself, I know I'm only vacuuming about 50% of this attic, right? So I got a 50% chance. And this woman wasn't doing air testing, because air testing is expensive. So to do extensive air testing pre and post remediation, you could be adding $1,500 to the bill. And they're already paying, let's say, a $3,000 bill, so they don't want to do it, right? So you just got to go in there and do the best you can without really knowing how you did. So I said to myself, I'm going to not vacuum, and I'm going to use chlorine dioxide in this attic and do a post test. And she had cladosporin was the type of mold, which isn't a toxic mold, but she had 63,000. She had someone else do the pre-testing. 63,000 spores, so a lot of spores. And there was only about 5 spots in the attic with mold in it from leaks, you know? So we treated those. I sprayed the whole attic with an antimicrobial. I fogged. I left my air scrubber for 3 days, and I went in and I sealed off her vents and her fan, and I ran the chlorine dioxide for 24 hours. Went and did a test on my own, which I paid for because I was just curious, and we brought it down to 1,300 without vacuuming. You know, so the chlorine dioxide is really, not a lot of people even know about it. I learned about it from a guy that really, he helped me when I was first getting started with mold back in like 2013. He's from Colorado, and he called me up one day in 2015 and said, listen man, we got this new product that we're selling. I'm gonna send you some, you gotta try it. And you know, and I used it, and it literally, I mean, it just depletes the mold in the air. You know, it's really a great product. And a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people are scared of it because they got to leave the house for 24 hours and you can't breathe it in, so they don't want you to use it. But it's a very handy tool. It cuts down on the labor. I mean, you still vacuum when you're using it, but that one, I said to myself, because what was I going to do if I didn't get the levels down? I would have had to vacuum, run the air scrubber for longer, but I was willing to do it for my own knowledge. And the chlorine dioxide did bring the levels down from 63,000 to 30.
Is that a temporary fix?
No, it was always a temporary fix. Mold is going to grow back. You know, I mean, if you get water or you have elevated relative humidity, it's going to grow back. The only time I give a warranty is on those bathroom jobs, and that can be voided if they don't get the fan put in, or if they don't get like sometimes I tell them you need to get a small dehumidifier, which you got to empty every day. You know what I mean? But if they call me back 8 months later, which has never happened because the product that I use is real good, but if they did and their dehumidifier is full and it's not working, then that voids the warranty. I'll probably treat it again for free because you know I believe in
relationships.
Yeah, I believe in good service. But yeah, you can't really give a warranty on mold because
you need to fix the reason why it.
Yeah, you need to fix the source, and then you know the common misconception is that you just spray something on it and you kill it and it's good, but really we're trying to remove an invisible dust from the air and from the surfaces. Did you have a question?
Yeah, when you were saying about removing the smokes type of, like if a smoker lived in a residence before, I remember I've had an apartment before where anytime I showered, the wall would like leak, like a yellowish kind of like the type of thing and stuff like that. So so the process on that is both a chemical thing and a fanning thing that you're doing on that?
So on those ones, I'll leave the air scrubber for a couple days, you know what I mean? But basically, I HEPA vacuum it, I treat it with a product which kills it, I remove the staining, and I put a clear coat encapsulant on it. It's a zinc barrier, so if mold tries to grow back, it's going to stop that from happening. But mold can still grow on top of the encapsulants. Matter of fact, I just looked at one the other day where they had mold in the basement in Princeton, and half of her basement was painted white. So the previous homeowners had mold, it was remediated, they used a white encapsulant, and there was literally mold growing on top of the encapsulant, but not on the other half of the basement.